I wanted to demonstrate what it looked like to do an application problem using the idea of finding a missing coordinate pair. So in order to do that, you're going to be given a partial table. So you're going to be given one or the other in terms of the coordinate pairs. And you are going to have to be able to find the missing pair. Now the other thing that you're also going to be given is the formula to work with. And then usually you are asked to graph. So we've got this example here that says at one point in 2017 the exchange rate from US dollars to euros was E equals 0.85D, where E is euros and D is dollars. So first it says to make a table of ordered pairs for the values of D and E if D has the values 100, 200, 300, 400, and $500. So notice we've got a table here, and notice that part of it has been filled in. Well, the other thing that we need to pay attention to or remember is the fact that we were given an equation here. So we can fill in the rest of these blanks by simply solving the equation. So that says that we have 0.85 times 100 is what goes in the first box. And so if we do that, that's going to give us 85. Then we need to repeat the process. 0.85 times my 200. When you multiply that, you're going to get 170. 0.85 times my 300. Multiply that together and you get 255. 0.85 times 400 is going to give us 340. And then we have 0.85 times 500, and that is going to give us 425. Now after you have figured out your table, you then have to be able to go and figure out your coordinate plane. So notice in this particular coordinate plane you have not been given an axis. That's because sometimes you have to create the axis on your own. So the way that I would do it is I would use the outer edge as much as possible. So here we're going to set up our axis lines. So we're going to go ahead and use this outer edge point. And so we'll go ahead and mark it in. So here we're going to use this to represent your y-axis. And then my x-axis, I would come up just a few. And then we can go ahead and mark that x-axis. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of designing my axis in order to fit the data that I have. So I have to remember that this is my x and this is my y. And then with that, I have to be able to label my actual points. And so here, I want to kind of make things a little easy. Obviously, down here we would start at 0. But then we need to, work our way up. So I might say that at this first part, this is 100. And then skip up, this is 200. Skip to here is 300, skip to here is 400, up to here is going to be 500, and so on and so forth. Now, we can also do a similar idea coming along my x-axis, where maybe here is 100, here maybe 200, then we've got our 300, this is say our 400, here is 500, go at least one more, you've got your 600, and so on and so forth. So I've really kind of created my own graph in its own way, And the table actually tells you what your coordinate values are. So this is my x-axis, but this is also going to be D for dollars. And then my y-axis is going to be my E for euros. So then simply what we have to do is we have to come in here and you're going to graph your points and make them be as close as you possibly can. So the first point I have is the point 185, so I'm over at 100 and I'm almost to 100, so here somewhere around there. And then I have the point 200, so over to 200, and I'm up at 170, so here's 100, 150, 170. And then we have over to 300, and we're up at 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and basically barely above it. Then at 400, we're at 340, so we've got 100, 200, 300. This is 350, so we're down slightly below it. And then at 500, we're at 425, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 25 is slightly above. So we've got our points. So what you would do is you would kind of come in and you are going to connect them kind of as best as you can. And so this would be what your line looks like. Notice, because we're talking about price in euros, we're starting at 0, we're not going through it. So therefore, this would be what we need. And so here, this equation here is the one where E is equal to 0.85 D. And that is how you solve an application. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, enjoy, have some fun, be creative, and I'll see you next time.